Hello, everybody. Good Thursday morning. Good Thursday morning, everybody. Everybody. Me and my dog, who is by my feet because it's a little thundery outside this morning here in Foster. I don't know what it's doing near you, but it has been rainy and thundery much of the morning, which is okay because we need the rain. And you know, thunder's fun, unless you're my dog or my best friend's dog. Yeah, he doesn't like thunder either. So, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my weekly live, almost weekly live. I've been pretty consistent. You have to admit, I've been pretty consistent. And this week, my theme is self-acceptance. Yeah, self-acceptance. I actually, to the point where I don't know if any of you saw my card pull, my Monday card pull, which didn't happen until Tuesday night because I just wasn't feeling it. So I did not force myself to do that card pull until I was feeling it, which felt actually really good. So I was proud of myself. So this week, my thoughts sort of turned into a blog, and the full blog is on my website, thestylesherpa.com. So I have been doing a blog inconsistently for several years now. So you can go on there and read to your little heart's delight some fun things. But this felt very much like it needed to be a blog. And so I liked how it came out. And I really wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this idea of self-acceptance. And so let me just give you a little background. I'm going to sort of take the blog and flip it on its head and go, bottom to top here on this. So the reason this came about is this t-shirt I'm wearing. I'm not sure. I'm that girl. This t-shirt. So 2 weeks ago, I was at the Rise Women's Leadership Conference in Providence. I was attending, listening to all these amazing women of all ages and diverse backgrounds and ethnicities, and just sort of absorbing it all and listening and taking it all in. And they had this table full. The Rise Women's Group had a table of merch, right? And they had a bunch of different t-shirts, and I was looking at the t-shirts and the leggings and things like that, and I was like, I like that t-shirt. I don't know. And then this one, which I hadn't even seen the first couple times I'd been by the table, I was like, I'm that girl. Something that made me go, ooh. But it also made me go, ooh, I don't know if that t-shirt's for me. Am I that girl? I don't know. So I bought the t-shirt because it made me go, ooh, okay. So I bought the t-shirt and I came home and I sort of sat with it. And of course, I had to cut it because I can't leave anything alone. I'm not a big fan of the crew neck tees. And, again, really everything has to be almost one of a kind for me to wear it just because that's who I am. Hashtag self-acceptance. So I took this t-shirt and I started making a list to see how could I connect with this t-shirt. All right. And so I'm that girl. Well, what did that mean? That girl? Who is that girl? What does that girl do? What is she like? And so I started making a list about me. And it was I just let it sort of flow out. I was just gonna let it flow. So I'm gonna read what I wrote, and it's on the blog. But I'm that girl who buys a t-shirt and cuts it to make it feel more like me. I'm totally that girl. I'm that girl who gets inspired by watching others do their best despite feeling their worst. Who feels like a complete badass one moment and a shrinking violet the next. Believe it or not, absolutely. Can be very shy at times. Who just keeps trying. I'm that girl who keeps finding inspiration, who keeps getting up after she stumbles, who needs to hear that she's making a difference, who agonizes over her reactions in conversations with others. Could I have said that differently? Did I offend them? Oh my gosh, why was I feeling that way? Keeping you up at night kind of stuff. Who knows she's not perfect but shows up completely authentically, which has definitely been something I've been working on, and I think I'm achieving it on a pretty high level. So, yay me. I'm that girl who pats herself on the back, evidently, on a Facebook Live. Who gets moved to tears by music, I'm that girl who loses herself in beauty and creativity, who likes to leave big tips for servers, who is overly polite to service workers to try and make their day a little bit nicer and sort of make up for some of the people who are not always very nice to them. Who sometimes wants to be a social butterfly and sometimes wants to curl up on the couch with a cup of tea. Who molests other people's dogs when she's out. And yes, I will molest your dog if I see you. I'm coming for you and your dogs because I just love them. Who has stern talks with the birds at her feeders about being nice and sharing. Kind of a big deal for me. They are a lot of bullies at the bird feeder, and I have to go out and have stern talks on a regular basis with all of them. So that seems perfectly normal, I'm sure. Who apologizes to her plants when they're not really doing very well. I have not always been the best plant mom. You know, kind of abusive at times. I was the gal who, my plants didn't die, but they sure as hell didn't thrive. But I'm getting much better. I've repotted them, so just so you know, they're all much happier. So I haven't had to apologize in a while. Who dances in the grocery store when the music is good. And I'm going to say that Market Basket in Johnston sometimes has the best music to shop to. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm that girl who's amused and intrigued by things like fence has been lubricated. So I was heading up to Boston the other day on the train to meet my husband. And the Attleboro station, I look out the window and there's a fence, and a sign on the fence said fence has been lubricated. And things that make you go, why is the fence lubricated? I don't know, my mind went in all sorts of different. So I took a picture, and of course then my husband explained it to me, which was not as much fun as what was going through my head, but anyway, totally amused me. I'm also that girl who reads from her notes on Facebook Lives. So that was just the list that I started to make. And it made me sort of happy about who this girl was. I mean, she's not perfect in any way, shape, manner, or form, but she's quirky, and it's who she is and it's who I am, and I don't dislike her. I actually kind of like her. I think she's kind of fun, and she's evolving into a really cool person. So it definitely is something that made me realize, you know what, we all need to think about self-acceptance and really leaning into figuring out who we are. And that means good stuff, but it also means the not so good stuff, the stuff that maybe we're embarrassed by. We just don't want people to see those little ugly parts, the thing that hides under the covers, and it's just isn't enjoying life. We need to accept that part too. We don't just get to accept the good part, because when you fully accept all parts of you, that's when you start to learn how to evolve and take yourself to the next level and maybe change those bits that you're not so happy with. So you can accept things and be okay with them staying the same, but you can also accept things and say, you know what, that's something I think I'd like to work on. That's something I'd like to change. That's an area that I would like to see myself evolve in. And so the first step is accepting it, acknowledging it and accepting it, and then saying, okay, how can I move forward? How can I take this acceptance and make myself into a better version of myself? All from a t-shirt. I'm just saying. This is what I'm talking about, getting inspiration everywhere. So, knowing your behaviors, it allows for reflection on areas you love, areas you're less fond of, and might want to change. So sometimes my shrinking violet keeps me from interacting with others when I'm out. So usually actually when I'm shopping. And that was either whether I was shopping for a client, when I used to do that, or just, for myself, just out and about. And I think I just get overwhelmed by a lot of the energy out there, and I sort of close myself down. But then I always leave wishing that I had maybe had a little more interaction. I'd been a little more in the moment, and I'd had some engagement with other people, because I do find that when I engage with people, I of course I love that. I love engaging with people. It makes me so excited. But that shrinking violet part of me, can definitely make me sort of feel in a shell, and then I leave going, wow, that could have been so much richer if I had just engaged with someone, started with someone's conversation. And so what I do now that I understand that and have understood that about myself for several years now, I will try to dress myself in the morning consciously, of course, conscious dressing, because you know how I love conscious dressing. Dress myself to make myself feel more outgoing, to feel more confident or safe or whatever it is I'm needing to feel. But I also have learned to do this little trick where I will wear something that tends to get people to comment on it. Whether it's a t-shirt or a piece of jewelry that I know generally people respond to. Actually, like this necklace. This necklace gets a ton of comments. It's just a fabulous, unique piece, right? So I will wear something knowing that it will draw other people to comment, to draw me out. So I'm using it as a tool to get other people to help draw me out. So, and I know that feels very passive aggressive. It really does, right? But it's also a tool I know. So if someone is going to engage me, I am always happy to engage back. Always, always, always. I'm always super happy when someone talks to me, and I'm always like, oh, yes, let's engage and have fun and let's play, because I just want to play like a puppy. So consciously putting on something that I know will help other people draw me out is a tool that I use. And it's not something I realized I could do until I came up with conscious dressing and started really paying attention to my pieces and how they made me feel, but also how others responded to them, which then, how did that make me feel? Right? So other people responding to my stuff also makes me feel a certain way. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. But it's really nice to have this necklace, and someone can go, just anyone. It can be the cashier, it can be someone, you know, across the clothing rack at TJ Maxx, go, love your pendant. Like, oh, thank you very much. And, you know, then you can start a conversation, or it can even just be left at that. But I have found that that's a really delicious tool for me. That really helps. And so it does, this awareness sits with me as I go about my days, right? And I consciously see it, and I push myself to engage with others. I will push myself to engage with others. But when I don't, when I really don't have it in me to push myself, I have my backup. I have my backup pieces. And sometimes I find that if I am feeling like, okay, I've been sitting on my couch for too many days, and even though I know I still accept this about myself, I think it might be time to go back out in the world and engage. But if I'm still feeling a little shy, that's when this tool is like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to force myself to engage. But if I can put on that backup, it's going to be good. I'm going to do a quick check for comments. See if anybody has joined me this morning. I know it's at a different time. Oh, Zoom back so we can see the shirt. Oh, zoom back. Can I zoom back? Zoom. I zoom back? Oh, Kristen, can I zoom back? All right, so, oh no, I'll do that. I'm that girl. I'm that girl. I don't know how to zoom or unzoom. I think that's something I need to look into. So thank you for bringing that to my attention, Schwester, my dearest darling Schwester. And so now it's time, I think, for all of you to take a peek into your wardrobes and see where you have things that may be adding to your self-acceptance and where you may have things that may be sabotaging your self-acceptance. Because sometimes we have those pieces, and if they're sabotaging your self-acceptance on any level, that is something to be looked at and to be taken care of. And I say it's not just a removal process. Don't just remove it, but understand it. Like, okay, what is this piece? Where did I get it? Why do I still have it? When I wear it, how do I feel? Do I not wear it? Like, just ask yourself a bunch of questions about it just so you can get a little more understanding about yourself. You will be amazed at what your accessories and clothing, and even the things you decorate your home with, say about you. Does it say, I have nothing here that I've picked out for myself? Is that a thing? Because if that's a thing, that says a lot too, right? And maybe it's time for you to start picking things out specifically for yourself. And letting yourself know that you're worthy. Again, another part of self-acceptance. So what else do I want to say about this? I think this was just like a really interesting and important revelation about me, for me. And I am so loving this I'm That Girl t-shirt because it means so much, because it can mean something completely different for me than it would mean for you. And I love that delving into, well, who is that girl? So I guess I want you all, not only are you going to look in your closet, but I'd love for you to make a list of, imagine you have that t-shirt, this I'm That Girl t-shirt. Imagine you have that t-shirt. Now write down all the things that that girl is, or that guy is. Who is that person? All the things. All the things. And making that list was really kind of cool. So put that in your journal, make that list, start looking at your wardrobes and, thinking about it. And this is one of the things I do in the wardrobe sessions when I work with my clients in the Ascent program. When we get to that part of the program, going through the wardrobe, is really delving deep and talking about items. And it's amazing, the conversations, the memories, the things that come up, and the self-acceptance and the self-worth and all the things come up when you're delving into that. And so I get very excited to get to that part of the program with my clients, because it is very nourishing, and it's amazing. It's amazing what it brings to light, that you're like, wow, this is just a t-shirt. Is it though? Is it though? So that is what I have to say to you today. Go read the blog. The full blog is on my website, thestylesherpa.com. If you've never been to my website, you should totally check it out. It's totally fun. And then, make that list, look at your clothes, and see how you're feeling about things, right? And if you think anybody might like to see some of these awareness zones, have them join the Facebook group. I'm also putting them up on my YouTube channel after they have aired here. So I always air them here, of course, live first, and then I upload them a week or so later to my YouTube channel, which also has my card pulls and stuff. So that's another place that you can go to see my stuff. And I love any comments, questions. You know how to reach me. Reach out to me. And thank you for watching. And if you are watching on the replay, which hopefully many people will, because I know this was an odd time. I have a client this afternoon, so I had to move my live, and I have plans this evening. So it went 10 a.m., which is all good. Put hashtag replay just so I know who's watching the replay, just for my own information. That would be phenomenal. And have a wonderful, amazing day, because you're that girl. Have a good one.